hall just called and they said the building is shaking. We need to turn down the volume. I said, that's not noise, ladies and gentlemen. That's music.
That's music.
That's the music you hear from a B3 with two Leslie speakers.
Two Leslies, yes.
The fact that they're consecutive serial numbers doesn't really change the sound. It changes the cool factor.
And I would say it changes the value.
Well, that's a good point. Absolutely, especially to a collector. Now, I have been communicating. Forgive us, folks. Forgive my rudeness for not saying hello and welcome to the Keyboard Exchange International channel. I'm Jim Huss, and this is Randolph Carter. And Randolph, what does it Sister KB tell you? Let's do it right now and get it over with, okay?
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share.
So you all gotta tell people, Randolph, you can't just sit here and just play the organ and just ting, 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 ting on the organ. You got to tell the people to subscribe and ring the bell. Not the cowbell, not the doorbell. You gotta tell them to ring the YouTube bell.
I know that Sister KB watches our videos and she subscribes. I just want to always get that in there because without her inspiration, we would forget that.
We'd probably forget
too often.
We'll do it in advance.
And that's right. We'll get it done, get it over with, because otherwise it just ain't right. And I don't want her to call you and upset your day. Right. You got a lot on your mind right now. You know, your wife's home and you're getting ready to paint the nursery and all that stuff, right? So people need to subscribe so that you don't have to be worrying about getting a call from Sister KB.
That should be the least of my worries.
Okay, so where were we here, Randolph? First of all, the city of Sanford didn't really call and say it was too loud, right. But it felt like maybe I haven't heard this much power out of one organ in a long time.
Yes.
Now that's great in a large setting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great when you have a lot of guest choirs or a large choir yourself and you want to divide the sound between two sound sources. It's called distribution of sound. You could beef up one Leslie and make it really loud, but the people close to it are going to have their ears hurting, so it's better to distribute the sound as evenly as possible, and that's one of the great advantages of two Leslies. With consecutive serial numbers, it doesn't really matter.
But that is kind of special.
It's kind of cool.
It's rare. It's rare. Yeah.
Now, I was talking with a pastor in Trenton just today, and he wants new Leslie speakers. So I told him we have brand new Leslie speakers, so he can have two brand new Leslie speakers. He wants to distribute his sound and trade in his old B3 that's been in the church for 40 or 50 years.
Okay.
Now, maybe longer, because I was calculating the age of this organ, 1969 to today. I mean, if my math skills are still with me, it's around 51 years. And if I'm wrong, make sure you comment and tell me, Jim, you got to go to the calculator and make sure before you start quoting, your math skills. But 51 years, it's like new. I mean, we didn't even polish this yet.
Yes.
I think we polished the Leslies, but there's still a little more we could do. But the furniture on this is better than any furniture I have in my house. It doesn't get any nicer than this. This is all original. We still have some work to do on it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that came to mind for me, is I thought about the fact of when me and Kim, we initially picked this organ up. I usually have the opportunity to, play the organ before it leaves or whatever, but when we got there, it was already disassembled. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thoroughly impressed with the sound for no work to be done to it, and it sounds like this.
It's a great starting point for a restoration. We won't have to do as many things as we typically would, but we'll definitely be putting new electrical wire in it, strengthening up the connections,
removing foam.
That's the biggest part of the job, getting the foam out of the keyboards. Now, fortunately, there's no problem in there now, so we don't have to fix any wiring. Once we get in there and get the keyboards apart, we don't have to do any of that. But we were talking at some length, what year this was, 68 or 69. And there's a gentleman in Japan, shout out there to KT. I'm going to use your initials to preserve your privacy. But in the many years I've known him, he's been a great source of information. Like, he's a connoisseur of B3s and the ages. He told me yesterday, look in to see what color the speakers are. Are they the black ones or they are the silver Jensens? And that'll give you an indication of the year. So these speakers were the black color speakers with the big square magnets. And thank you, KT, for your help on this. We have the bill of sale, and they bought this organ in the first few, I think, March of 1969. So that's when it was purchased, but you know, probably it was made in late 68 or first week of 69. It's a little hard to say. It's got the engraved drawbars. Am I right about that?
Yes, sir, you are.
But it does. The serial number doesn't start with an A. We always thought if it started with an A, that's 69. But that doesn't mean that you know, they threw away all the old serial number tags. They probably used them up. You know, there's like a transitional period. But we know it was sold brand new in the first few months of 1969. So that's a great hint right there. So anyway, fortunately the city didn't call to complain about playing too loud. So why don't you take it out, show us the power and the majesty of this instrument as it exists. It's only going to get better after we work on it. And although I don't think the sound will change much.
Right, because we're not going to do anything with the capacitors.
No, the red caps are going to stay there. The sound is not going to change much, but we'll put, you know, new tubes and rebuild the motors and the Leslies and oil it and ground it and do all the things that we do to make it electrically safe. Now, you're hearing a little reverb there. We may decide to leave a Fisher reverb on there. We may take it off and put Trek 2 reverb. We haven't decided on that yet.
Maybe that'll be a good discussion for our viewers. Should we keep reverb on the organ, or should we disconnect?
Okay, that's a good question to ask. Comment, folks. Should we keep reverb on this that came with a Fisher reverb? And, well, without further ado, Randolph, why don't you take us out and let me get out of the way because, you know, I don't want to get my hat blown off by, you know, being so close to the Leslies. Okay. Take it away, Randolph. I'm Jim Huss, speaking with you from the showroom at Keyboard Exchange International. We'd like to thank all of you who have helped us grow our business for the past 51 years, and it is our intent to find good homes for all the instruments we have gathered from all over the United States. Thank you to the families that have preserved the instruments and then sold them to us knowing that we would find good homes for them. If you, on the other hand, are in need of an instrument, please give us a call. There's been a lot of effort to gather these instruments together, and we would like to make you part of the Keyboard Exchange International family. Let's all work together to keep these fine instruments going long into the future so that we now and future generations can continue to enjoy the wonderful sound of the Hammond tone wheel organ. God bless. Signing off.